All right, fans, it's Friday. You know what that means. It's time for another edition of your WrestleGeddon podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Chris the Heat Matthews, joined via audio by Garrett G. Moneyman and via satellite, the Tennessee Jesus, Carl Crossland. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, man?
You know, Carl said my name and I had to appear, so.
Because I believe in Garrett.
Because I believe in G Money. Oh, man, awesome stuff. We have a pretty decent week of wrestling to talk about. We got Money in the Bank pay-per-view. We've got NXT Heatwave. More NXT TNA crossover stuff. Lots of good stuff this week. Owen Hart.
Raw.
Owen Hart Cup Finals, Raw, Monday night. And I've got a couple other things here to talk about, too. We'll get to the instant replay. But first, let's head over to the Random Band. Right, Random Band this week was none other than Green Day.
Garbage.
Garrett's favorite band of all time.
You don't like Green Day?
All their songs sound identical. And if you tell me otherwise,
No,
you're a liar.
they don't.
No,
They don't.
They don't sound the same.
I mean, their newer stuff like kind of sucks, but like their original
their older stuff was way different than the newer stuff.
It all sucks. But anyways, go ahead.
The newer stuff is more punk influence than
Y'all go ahead and pick your song.
Stuff not on the podcast for 3 weeks and don't want to pick a Green Day song. Just pick.
I'll pick a song. About the only song that I even care for of theirs is Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Well, there you go.
You can Garrett comes all emo.
Yeah.
I walk this lonely road.
Oh man, I went to.
You gotta wear eyeshadow too.
I'm gonna wrestle and like the guy's gonna hit me and be like, "Yeah, I deserved it."
Funny story with that song. I went to a karaoke competition. One of our friends back home was doing a karaoke thing at like the casino, so we went to support her. And this emo kid was up there singing Boulevard of Broken Dreams, and he was like, so I don't know if he was just nervous or what, but he's up there. He's got his black hoodie on, long black hair. He's got the eyeshadow, like everything, black fingernails. He didn't sound bad. He just, I think he was just really nervous about being up there. He was just really stiff. He was like singing like this. And then like, it finally got to, where it picks up a little bit and he just like does that emo thing where he like throws his hand down and like turns his head.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So bad.
Oh man.
Yeah, American Idiot came out when I was in high school. It was like a big thing when it came out because he had like all the war in Afghanistan and Iraq and all that shit going
on. What song did we use? Good Riddance was our class theme song when I graduated.
Was it?
Yeah.
I played it at my dad's funeral. I didn't play it, but we played Green Day's version of Good Riddance at my dad's funeral.
Yeah. But my pick was Brain Stew.
That's a good one.
It is. I like the one off the Godzilla soundtrack a little more because I like the Godzilla roars in there, but it's still a good song.
Yep. You know me, I'm a jerk off, so I decided to go with Longview.
Very nice, very nice.
Awesome.
Or,
All right.
or I can just tag team. Or I can just tag team with Garrett and just wear all black and be a shadow.
Oh man, that's good.
My shadow. Where are you, my shadow? Oh man. All right, what we got for next week, Carl?
Next week, we got one of G Money's favorites. We got Boston.
Oh heck yeah,
Boston.
love some Boston. Not the city, the band.
See my Marianne walking away. Awesome stuff. All right. So there we go. Green Day for this week. Next week, Boston. Some nice power ballads in there.
Heck yeah.
I think I only know one Boston song.
You probably know more than you think you do. The one that Chris sang is like the most popular. They have a couple of them. You know.
That one was in one of the Guitar Hero games.
Yes.
More than a feeling, right? More than
a feeling.
Yep.
They do Smoke on the Water too, or is that someone else?
No, that's Deep Purple.
No, that's
Purple.
That's Deep Purple.
Okay. So,
And fire in the sky.
I'm 100% sure on that one. All right. So there we go. Let's go ahead and hop over to the Elite Figure of the Week. Of course, brought by
Elite.
EntertainmentEarth.com. Go ahead and use the code FTCollect. Save yourself 20%, or not 20%, 10% off all in-stock items. Trying to give you a bigger discount than what our code actually does. Oh, awesome. All right. Elite of the Week this week is probably one of my favorite Finn Balor figures. And according to the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, it is actually one of Finn Balor's favorite one of his figures. And that is the Elite 70 London Takeover Finn Balor. Finn
Jack
the Ripper.
Is that the one that came with the chainsaw?
No, that's Texas. That's the one from Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the Jack the Ripper one.
Gotcha.
Love
I have
this.
a lot of Finn Balor figures. I don't remember which ones I have.
I have so many freaking Finn figures. He's got his own damn shelf now.
Yeah.
It's just it's hard.
That's who I have a lot of.
It's hard to pick one to put on display because like all like the demon figures especially are all like different and unique with their the different types of paint that they use.
Absolutely.
So there's Big Ben with the Ripper Demon on the back. It's pretty awesome. This one, I was psyched when they announced they were doing this figure, so obviously. And of course, he's got the little top hat out there with the tassels. So, super cool. Awesome figure. Definitely one of my favorites. So, all right. And there's your Elite Figure of the Week. I did a little bit of shuffling around here with the format. So, we're going to go ahead and hop over to In Your Housekeeping. I figured it'd be better to do In Your Housekeeping before Instant Replay because, follow up from the week before makes sense. At least to me anyway. All right. The only thing I got really for follow up from last week, they started they announced it on Raw. I forgot to put it in the notes. The Bojangles promotion with the tag team cups. A lot of people going nuts for these cups, man, because they don't have Bojangles in their areas.
Sure, we got them on like every other street corner.
Yeah, I have 3 Brothers of Destruction cups and 1 Outsiders cup.
Nice.
Cool. So yeah. So if anybody needs a Brothers of Destruction cup, hit me up. I got 3 of them to spare, or 2 of them to spare. That was the biggest thing for follow up I had. Well, the only thing I had for follow up from last week. So really not much else. So. And of course, that brings us over to. There's nothing. The instant replay.
Heck yeah. It's working. Woo.
Kind of working. Had to upload it separately from the slideshow. But that's what it's supposed to do. All right, instant replay this week. I got a couple tidbits here. One news thing that's been going on for a few weeks now. Shane McMahon, rumored to be heading to AEW.
So I saw,
AEW.
I saw, who was it? I can't remember who it was that said that did like an interview, and he's like within like the next 6 months, he thinks Shane and Vince are gonna buy AEW.
I don't
think so.
I don't think so. I don't think Tony Khan would let go of AEW. Honestly,
I don't think so either.
I don't think we're going to see Vince behind a wrestling promotion.
What do you mean? He's going to buy NWA?
Yeah.
I think the next thing we see out of Vince is probably our funeral.
Yep.
Like he's getting there.
Very true, unfortunately.
I have to agree with that one. But yeah, what are you guys' thoughts? Shane McMahon working with AEW. Good, bad, not needed.
If it gets Tony Khan off TV and like you bring him in as
bring him in like an authority type figure.
Yeah. Like maybe like Tony Khan's dad comes out like, hey, I heard this because my jackass son can't run a company, and like he's a new commissioner, and then you don't have to worry about saying Tony Khan.
And as like the executive vice president and overrules the Bucks and the Elite.
Yeah. I mean, one good thing is he has like a lot of production experience.
Yeah.
He has a lot of, probably like a lot better booking experience. He has commentator experience. He has referee experience.
I mean, the thing would be is he'd add value regardless.
Yeah. Maybe he shows up and, it's like a swerve and WWE bought AEW and, they're replaying the invasion angle all over again.
Oh man!
Or I don't know if anybody remembers that Nitro, but yeah, Vincent McMahon showed up at the beginning and said he bought WCW, and then
there's a McMahon name on the contract, but it wasn't Vince.
What's it? Vince.
It says Shane McMahon.
And then Stephanie somehow surprisingly owned ECW.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, he would bring a lot to the company. Like he has a lot to add. I mean, I don't know like if he'll perform or anything because it's like here lately every time he performs he gets injured. But
yeah. Well, hopefully not, because he doesn't really need to be, jumping off or being thrown off some really high shit anymore.
Well, he didn't. He got injured by fucking trying to dance or something. Like,
oh yeah,
the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did he jumped over somebody, probably somebody in for the squad or.
Oh yeah, I just remember like the Undertaker match and getting thrown off the cell and shit that he did.
The one like always stood out to me was like growing up was the one with Steve Blackman Where he threw him off
Oh,
the
yeah.
Titan. Yeah.
Yep. That's a funny one.
But my favorite moment was remember when he had it was like a feud with Big Show or whatever, and then he's like in the back making fun of Big Show, and he's like, "Which way did he go? Which way did he go?"
Oh man, I remember that. Remember that one.
I always find the DX and Vince, Shane, and Big Show Hell in a Cell is freaking hilarious, especially when they're like
Yeah.
Triple H and HBK like just keep kicking Big Show in the balls. Let's go.
Isn't that the one where they shoved like Vince's head in Big Show's ass?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so good. Like it's terrible but good. Oh man.
Awesome. All right. Yes, I agree with you, Carl. I think his knowledge and experience would benefit AEW. And honestly, anybody with that type of knowledge and experience is going to be a benefit to AEW, regardless of who they are.
Yo.
And we'll kind of see, if if Vince was right, if it should have been Stephanie, if it should have been Shane, and we see that firsthand.
All right, this next thing, this is from a Cleveland.com article. This was from back in April. I don't something that I missed. I really don't pay attention to Cleveland.com, but friend of mine ran into him out working this week, and we were talking about this. He happened to bring it up. So they ran this poll, and it was a breakdown of the top 100 male wrestlers of all time. And it was based on their influence, their impact, their longevity, charisma, and career success. So I'm not going to get into the full 100 because it's a long list that goes back to like 1930. As far as like where they pulled their candidates from. Jesus, like a bug down here in my face. Damn. But the top 10, we'll start off, we'll go 10 to 1. Randy Savage, Buddy Rogers, Shawn Michaels, Antonio Inoki, Bret Hart, Bruno Sammartino, The Undertaker, Hogan, Austin, Flair.
So is Flair's just based off of longevity?
Roughly, yeah. Ric Flair is probably the greatest wrestler to ever lace up his boots.
I agree with you.
No,
I'm just
yeah,
saying. I'm just saying.
Let me tell you something. His longevity is the Undertaker is like way too high on the list. Don't get me wrong, he's like good and everything, and like I appreciate what he did, and I enjoyed him, but he's like way too high on the list.
I think the top 3 are fine. Like I don't have any problems with their placement on here for the first 3 with Flair, Austin, Hogan, because each one of them, you look at their time frames in wrestling, their periods, they're the ones that were the faces of that era and were at the forefront of all that stuff. Obviously without Hogan, we wouldn't have wrestling wouldn't have gotten as mainstream as it did in the 80s and into like the 90s and stuff. And then of course you had that slump. Then you get into the Attitude Era, and once Austin 316 at King of the Ring, it was just skyrocketed. And of course Austin and The Rock were the 2 biggest at the head of that. And then obviously Flair from his time, like the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s, 2030s, 40s, 50s, 60s. That man's never going to die.
Nope.
But all 3 of them, I think, all 3 of them had great careers. Had huge influences on the wrestling business and impacts and influence on pop culture. And their longevity, of course, like those three are going to be remembered regardless of how you feel about them. They're going to be synonymous with professional wrestling. Hogan, his charisma is the only thing that carried him because it definitely wasn't his in-ring skills. But career success, all three of them are probably some of the most successful in history.
Yeah. I mean, at the time in the 80s, to be fair, like, there wasn't a whole lot of in-ring talent as far as, like, big men go. You know?
It was just the bigger, the better.
Yeah. But I mean, as a little kid, it was believable, you know. So
yeah.
And then the NWO stuff was like, well, I don't know. Hogan is like one of those things where, like, as an entertainer, like the NWO stuff, I think like all the matches, if you go back and look at all the matches, they're probably all letdowns because I can't remember like a single match that I was like, oh shit, that was like the greatest match of all time. You know what I mean? Like with the NWO black and white stuff. But the build up to it, you know what I mean? Like the build up to the Sting and him at Starrcade and the Ultimate Warrior stuff, even though like the match sucked, like the build to it was kind of good. You know what I mean? So is like an entertainer and a storyteller. He's pretty good. Like honestly, you said, like the in-ring stuff.
Like some of the more memorable matches with the NWO was like before Six got fired, and he was having those matches with like Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit and Guerrero. Like the cruiserweight matches were more of the memorable ones compared to those. And honestly, the only time I can remember really popping huge for like an NWO match, well, especially with Hogan and the NWO, was when Goldberg beat him for the world title on Nitro.
I think one thing I would say, especially based on like what they're saying are qualifications for that list, I'm kind of surprised John Cena's not in the top 10.
Yeah. No.
Based
upon top 10.
See, I'm not saying he's top 10. I'm saying based upon what they're qualifying it as, of what they're putting on the list.
Longevity, he's retiring this year. Like he ain't like Ric Flair, he's not wrestling until he's 80.
How long he wrestled before that? It's career accomplishments. He's the same amount of championships as Ric Flair, numerous time U.S. champion, numerous time tag team champion. Like he's had a lot of that. Like you can't you can't tell me
with one company though.
You can't tell me he didn't have impact in the company either. You can't
no, with one
stuff he's done outside that influenced a lot of what WWE is today.
No, you're wrong. It was like one company.
You're right. But
he wasn't the face. He wasn't the face of it. Like when John Cena started in his first movie, like nobody knew who the fuck John Cena was. Like you know what I mean? Like there's people like, oh, he's a wrestler. You know what I mean? Like Hogan, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, like transcends wrestling. Ric Flair transcends wrestling. Motherfuckers never Ric Flair that's never watched a single match. You know what I'm saying?
That's not a thing you can say. People know John Cena without watching.
Because he's in the movies now. He didn't transcend it. You get what I'm saying? Like
him before movies.
No, they didn't, dude. There's people that still don't know John Cena is a wrestler.
All right,
let's watch his movies.
We need a bipartisan third opinion. Also, I'm sorry if it gets loud. I'm outside and it's raining.
You're good. But it's one of those things too. It's like with one company, like Austin, Flair, and Hogan's had this success in multiple companies, like too.
Yep. And Undertaker has been in multiple companies, but his most successful gig was The Undertaker. Like, he didn't get nowhere as Mean Mark Callis. Like, especially in WCW, they told him he wasn't, main event material. Then he comes to
Or Big Red
WWF
or whatever.
and becomes The Undertaker, and it catches on like freaking wildfire. So it's the booking, what it boils down to. So it depends on how you're booked. But with I will say this for Cena, during a time where WWE was at its lowest post Attitude Era, Cena busted his ass and carried the company.
But the thing is, though, is like,
as far as like what
to
you're saying
me,
with the longevity, Hogan, Austin, Flair, busted their asses in multiple companies and were the faces of, well, Austin and Hogan, or Flair and Hogan were faces of multiple companies.
Yeah, Austin, he did that pretty good in WCW though.
Yeah, I mean,
like he was U.S. champion,
tag team champion, U.S. champion.
Another thing too, with the perspective on the Cena thing, is Cena to me didn't carry those era. Like, you can look at like other wrestlers during his era, like Randy Orton, Eddie Guerrero becoming champion. The guy we don't say his name because he killed a bunch of people. Batista,
Redacted.
CM Punk. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
to me, CM Punk would be higher on my list than Cena would, because at least like CM Punk revolutionized like the promo and the way that wrestling was portrayed on TV during that era. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like the pipe bomb changed wrestling. Like, Cena hasn't done anything to change wrestling.
Well, that pipe bomb put us more into like the reality era of wrestling as opposed to, because like up until that point you're looking at like the ruthless aggression era, and then you go to like, then you get into the pipe bomb and stuff. Then you're looking more, everything became more reality based.
Yeah.
You pull back the curtain a little bit more.
We could sit here and talk about this the rest of the night. So
yeah,
I mean, I know John Cena's great favorite wrestler and all, but to me, he shouldn't be out on
that. Yeah, I cried at Money in the Bank. Tears fell down my eyes.
Well, we'll talk about it. But yeah, it's Cena's Garrett's generation's Hulk Hogan. So I mean, that's what it is. So. All right, let's hop over to some WWE. Let's talk Money in the Bank. Overall, what'd you guys think?
Garbage.
Stop. We're not comparing.
I liked it
right now.
I liked it.
I liked it. I enjoyed the pay-per-view. I thought it was good.
Yeah. Well, I'll break down why I said it's garbage. We'll get there.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you the reason why Garrett don't like it, because the people he wanted to win didn't win. That's basically what it boils down to.
Oh. So let's kick it off here. The pay-per-view started with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Or not men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Sorry.
Yeah.
Men's Money in the Bank.
Andrade should have won.
Andrade should have won. I really thought they were going to give this to Jay. Like, I'm very surprised that they had McIntyre pick up the win on this.
Who'd that pick?
You picked Drew.
Oh man,
you got 4 out of 5. I got 3 out of 5. The only one that you missed was the IC title, because we both picked Braun.
Yeah.
Sorry, I picked a bad place to do the podcast.
Garrett's getting the hurricane blowing in on him.
There's a hurricane coming through.
Mother Nature, you're giving Garrett that old hawk too.
Yeah, it is. So I'll be honest. I did not watch this men's ladder match, and then I did not want to go back and watch it because it would have been tainted by the winner. He should not have won. He should not have won. You can say he should have won. I don't care. You're not changing my mind. You can talk to me for an hour. It won't change my mind.
I picked it.
To somebody
so evidently,
who'd actually do something with it, but they didn't. But go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. In the grand scheme of things, we just got Garrett to answer this, but do you think that was a waste, given Drew McIntyre the winner?
I don't.
Okay. I'm in that same boat with you, Carl. Would I have liked it better if Punk had got involved in the ladder match and stopped Drew from winning, pulling the briefcase down, and like Jay picking up the win? Yes. But in terms of the storytelling of where they're going with this, having Drew win and then cash in, only for Punk to come interfere in that match, not only costing Drew McIntyre the title, while also costing Seth Rollins the title.
Well, see, this is where I don't like it. I feel like, and this is my point, I feel like you guys feel like that's the only way they could get Seth involved. There were so many other ways they could have got Seth involved, and they didn't do it. They did this way. You can't tell me there's not
but how do you
beef. There's ways they could have done it.
How do you get Jay involved though? No. How do you get Jay? Like, how do you put Jay over as like? Because if Jay would have won, he would just run in the same thing where it's like Damian Priest all over. That's like, can he really care?
Almost a year before finally getting it cashed in. So.
Yeah.
So this.
I don't know. I feel like there's ways they could have done it and they just didn't do it. And now they're like, oh, we got to add Seth because we got nothing for him. So let's just add it.
I mean, the only other thing I could see, like with Jay win it, like if Jay win it and then he relinquished the briefcase to Roman to go after Cody or something. You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing because Jay's not a world champion. You know what I mean? So.
But like, I don't feel like Jay was the only person that could have won that.
No, I picked Drew McIntyre because I felt like he could have won it.
Drew McIntyre, there's only 3. Okay. Honestly, LA Knight's going after Logan Paul for the U.S. title.
We know that.
They're going to give the U.S. title to LA Knight. Mm-hmm. Chad Gable is involved with the Wyatts.
Yep.
They definitely weren't going to give the briefcase to Andrade. As cool as that would have been.
But they could have.
Who I wanted to win.
They could have.
Carmelo Hayes just got called up. I mean, but you can say, but he doesn't have, like, you can say that same argument for Tiffany Stratton, though, but Tiffany has more momentum or had more momentum going into this ladder match than Carmelo Hayes did.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think that you would rather that in the moment when Austin Theory won, it was for him to win, or was he in the same boat as Carmelo? Because I would argue he was kind of in the same place Carmelo is right now when he won.
Well, the difference is Theory was Vince McMahon's guy and Carmelo is Triple H's guy. What about this though? I just thought about this. What if Andrade won and then he gave his briefcase to Charlotte to catch it in? Fucking that would have been.
I like that.
That would piss a lot of people off. You know what I mean? That would be awesome.
Or Ric Flair comes back and Andrade hands it to him.
Even better.
think as far as the storytelling, because the Seth Rollins Punk thing has been an underlying storyline since Punk came back. Because that
Yeah.
was
But
supposed to
I mean,
be
and then
WrestleMania.
the other problem is too is like you say the whole stuff with Punk and McIntyre, but there's also what happened on Raw, which you may or may not have seen,
What's that?
where we'll get in. When Damian was like, "Oh, I'm still going to give you a shot at the title," that was messed up,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
because Damian understood the predicament, and
Right.
he's like, "Yo, it wasn't fair." He's like, "Their issue cost you, this shot at the title." He's like, I'm glad that you wanted to keep your word between gentlemen. He's like, but as far as it goes, as far as I'm concerned, after SummerSlam, if I'm still champ, you can have another shot.
But he's not going to have another shot because Gunther's going to win it at SummerSlam.
Oh man, Jacob Fatu just hit the ring and he's destroying DIY and A-Town Down Under.
Nice.
Tommaso tried to DDT him, but Jacob no sold it again. You cannot
Sounds
drop
about right.
a Samoan on their head. Like, do people forget this?
They do.
Oh man. Oh, anywho, okay. Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker, Intercontinental title.
You mean Sammy Hogan? Say it right.
Sammy Hogan. I don't understand. He's only had the title for 3 months. Like, honestly, you cannot compare him to Hogan. You cannot compare him to Super Cena already. Like, this is ridiculous.
But what is ridiculous is the fact that he won this match.
He won what?
That he won the match.
No, I mean, they're a wrestler. I'm pretty sure they're going to wrestle again.
Yeah,
the
fast forward to Raw, Breaker took out Sammy.
Right, and I know that.
I mean,
but then my point is why even have the match if you know they're going to wrestle again? Just have it once. That way Breaker wins it. Because to me, it's like, oh, we're just going to give Breaker a loss because he can't beat Sammy. Because it came clean. It'd be one thing if it didn't come clean, and it was like, oh, we got to run it back.
But Breaker is a heel, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, in the grand scheme of things, if you want your face to be face, they can't cheat to win. I don't think it does anything to Braun Breaker losing. That's the thing is, like, did I want Braun Breaker to win? Did I think he was going to win? Yes. But I'm not upset that he won. If you're trying to put Sammy over as an Intercontinental Champion, the same Intercontinental Champion that beat Gunther, the same Intercontinental Champion that's beat Chad Gable twice, I think you got to give him a clean win if you want him to look like a legit champion. Which is something they haven't done with Priest, you know what I mean? Like, Priest still has his win, and that's what everybody's saying, like, oh, he has a win clean, Well, if you're doing the same thing with Sami Zayn, because, the Chad Gable stuff, you can say was interference on the Alpha Academy, you know what I mean? Like, you got to give him legit wins.
Yep. And honestly, like, if you're looking at Sami Zayn, like Carl said, Sami Zayn beat Gunther for this title. He beat Gunther clean for the title. No interference, nothing. And you turn around and tell me that did I want Braun Breaker to win? Yes, because I thought it'd be cool to see Braun Breaker with the Intercontinental title. But for people to sit there and go, oh, Super Sammy wins again. Okay, here comes Sammy Hogan. Breaker should have won that. Breaker is, more of a badass than Sammy. Has Braun Breaker beaten Gunther? No. Does Sammy beat Gunther? Yeah. So, and as a champion, you're that final boss, and that's the mentality that you should have going into a championship defense. Is like, I have this title because I'm one of the best, and it should be a lot harder for the challenger to beat that champion.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
And then
I just feel like
plus,
the way. Go ahead.
I was gonna say plus two. Like if you look at the flow of the pay-per-view, you can't have any kind of interference on that match because you had the Money in the Bank cash in, and that would kind of take away from that too, to me as well.
So what I was gonna say is like it's not so much to me like I feel like to me what would have made more sense is if Braun like tried to spear Sammy outside the ring and went through the barricade by himself and it was a count out. Then that way, Sammy still wins. It doesn't make Braun look bad. But I think the way they've built Braun is like he could demonstratize Gunther right now. That's just how they've made him seem. It's like no matter who gets in his way, he's taking him down like it's nothing. And I think to have even someone like Sammy to win, just I don't know. To me, it just kind of took some of the momentum away from what he had. Granted, I think he got a lot of it back from Monday, but I think there's other ways they could have done.
I mean, it was a good long match though. I could understand like if Sami Zayn went out there and like DDT'd him and then like won in like 10 minutes, but it was a good long match, and Braun got a lot of offense in the match. It wasn't like he looked bad. To me, that's just my opinion watching it. But again, I was watching it with my family. Brings back kind of nostalgia watching it with your family. So I could have just been in like a different headspace, and not as cynical as like I normally am.
Cool. All right. World Heavyweight Championship match: Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins. About halfway through the match, cash in Drew McIntyre, and we touched on this during the men's Money in the Bank talk. I didn't think it was terrible.
It wasn't terrible. It was really good until the botch happened, and then everything afterwards was garbage.
I won't say everything. The botch was kind of garbage. To me, Triple H kind of fucked it up, where he's like going out and like just admitting like it was a botch. To me, like if it would have been me and I was in charge, I'd be like, "Hey, we're investigating like what happened," and then I would say something like, CM Punk paid the ref not to count for Seth Rollins. You know what I mean? Something like that, to where you could add more fuel to that fire, or something like some kind of screw job going on, instead of being like, "Oh well, Damian Priest, didn't kick out. Maybe the sound guy didn't hit the music in the right time, or maybe he was knocked out. Who knows?" But to me, I would just been like, "We're investigating it," and not be like, "Oh, it was a botch," like right after the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
that I definitely agree with.
Because that's pulling back the curtain even more, looking at that, and you want to build that should have been spun, like you said, into the storyline, something like. But yeah, obviously Punk got involved. Him and Drew McIntyre continued their feud, building it up more. This is probably, and it's one of those things like, Drew took out Punk, took his bracelet, that fan made for him, all that stuff, and then it's like it's gotten so personal with the two of them that it's become one of the better feuds that we've seen in a while. And it's that same aspect with Rollins and Riddle, where how their personal feelings and everything, like their animosity toward each other really played through from real life into that storyline. And that those make the best stories in wrestling. And this, I don't think there's really any animosity between Punk and Drew, but it kind of, like the way that they're going with the storyline is it makes you think and makes you feel like there is some kind of outside thing between
there may be a little bit, you know what I mean? Like there may be a little bit. Like
yeah,
wrestlers don't have to be friends. Like
no.
Look at Charlotte and Becky Lynch. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and the same thing with Cody and Seth. Cody and Seth don't like each other, but they put that aside and did work together, made money. It's one of those things, and it's cool. So we'll see where it goes from there. So with that, Damian Priest retains. Going on to SummerSlam to take on Gunther, which I think this is where Priest actually drops the title, hopefully. Women's Money in the Bank ladder match definitely stole the show for me. I don't know about you guys, but
yeah, it was good.
Best match on the whole card.
Can we take a minute here to praise the one and only Chelsea Green?
Amazing
for this match.
Everybody was amazing in this match, though.
Io's God.
Io. I thought Io busted her ass, like coming down on that ladder. When she did it,
Io did a lot.
It's like, oh my God. When she put Zoe down on that ladder, I thought she busted her ass.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tailbone something.
Props for Zoe Stark. Almost fucking breaking her own neck and then fucking getting back up and still going.
I just got to say, Chelsea Green, going into that, with the fear of heights and overcoming that fear to climb that ladder only to get knocked off in the most extreme spot in that match going through those two tables.
Yep.
So props to Chelsea. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I think Tiffany Stratton was the right call for this one, like I mentioned earlier. Just what we talked about last week when we were doing our picks. It was pretty much her and Io Sky probably, like I said, had like the biggest momentum going into this matchup.
Yeah.
And we're like the only two that I could possibly see taking the win on this one. Such a great match.
Yeah.
But Tiffany won, and hopefully she holds true on her promise of giving us a pink Money in the Bank briefcase and with some bedazzle. All right, main event, 6-man tag match, Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, taking on Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton.
Another match I did not watch, but I have a general consensus.
It was decent to me.
So my questions for both of you: did Jacob outshine Solo in the match?
Jacob outshined everybody in that match. That was one of those things. Like I think what they should do storyline wise, and I really hope they do, is I hope there starts to be this like creeping feeling now that Jacob's in the group that Solo isn't, kind of getting that fear if he's not actually the head, and then that Jacob ends up getting kicked up. And Hikuleo taking the actual enforcer job.
I mean, they just got together, so I don't. You know what I mean? Like this is the second.
No, it would be like long term.
But yeah, I think what they're trying to do. I know like a lot of people were like upset with Solo getting the pin, but to me, like they're trying to set up Solo and Cody at SummerSlam probably, or something like that. So I understand why Solo got the pinfall. Like that doesn't bother me at all. The botches, like they were hardly noticeable in real time.
That low blow.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to check on Tama Tonga. Hopefully, he didn't get a concussion from that.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
And the table dive, looked a little nasty, but
yeah,
it was fine. Like it was fine. Like that's the problem with like the Money in the Bank things is like it's kind of hard to go on after a Money in the Bank, especially with like a tag team match.
Fine, that should have.
So I could understand. I could understand where
should have been the main event, but obviously it should have been.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. Definitely would agree with that, especially with it being a 9-title match.
Going back to that too, with Solo getting the pin on Cody, like who else would have got the pin in that matchup? Like if you're trying to build Solo as this big, like your new next big heel,
a lot of people,
ahead of the
I think a
tribal
lot of people
chief.
wanted Jacob. I think a lot of people wanted Jacob to get the pinfall
Well, that
since
doesn't make
he's
sense.
supposed to be dominant. Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, I get that, but storyline wise, it makes more sense for Solo to pick up that pin than Jacob.
Yeah.
Especially
But
since
I think
Solo took it upon himself to go after Cody after Heyman's like Roman said Cody's off limits, and Solo's like, well, he's not here, he's not coming back, I'm tribal chief, so
yeah,
like this is what we need to build up, and that's what we're doing.
yeah. But I think it was a main event though because Cody Rhodes was on it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
he's still your draw, and
yep.
you're in a foreign country, so unless
and
then you had Kevin Owens, another Canadian, so
yeah, just SmackDown's ending right now with Cody tied up in the ropes. Solo just hit him with a spike, and Tama Tonga, Tama Loa, and Jacob Fatu just put Orton through the announce table. So no KO, but yeah. So that's definitely where we're going with this is Solo and Cody at SummerSlam.
Yeah. And I think we might get
Roman Reigns.
Maybe Jacob and Orton.
Yeah, I've seen rumors of like Jacob and Orton, which I think would be awesome.
Especially with this going down, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that rumored.
I'm surprised they're not going to do, because the other thing I was thinking too was probably KO and Jacob, but having Jacob come in and destroy Orton will put him over huge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff there. But overall, I thought Money in the Bank was pretty good. It was good. Good time on a Saturday night watching some wrestling.
All I can say is my Sunday night was a lot better.
Monday morning for me it was pretty good.
I caught the main event for NXT. I haven't gone back and watched the rest of it yet, but
you watched the main event. The best match was probably the first match on the card.
Well, I thought
I disagree. So. I disagree with that.
I'm not saying it was. I'm just saying it was definitely one up.
Yeah, I started.
I mean, every match was fucking.
I tuned in at
every
9.
match was fucking good. I don't know. It's kind of hard to pick
everyone.
My favorite match was probably like the women's North American Championship match, and the tag match is probably like my two favorite.
Yeah, those are.
Oh, there's something else we haven't really discussed. What are you guys' thoughts on the Cena retirement tour?
Oh, well, we'll have to see where it goes.
Oh, it's kind of weird. I wasn't listening very well because I thought he said he was retiring at WrestleMania. So I was like, oh, they're probably gonna have him versus Punk at WrestleMania. By that time I could be put the title on Punk, and then you have Cena win the Rumble. You could have an epic WrestleMania main event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I tell you one thing I think that would be kind of cool. Because obviously I'm sure everybody thinks he's gonna try and go for a world title and try to win one more world title. I don't think he should necessarily do that, but he hasn't won the Intercontinental before, has he?
No, that's the only title he hasn't held.
So I think that'd be kind of cool if he went after that at maybe WrestleMania, hold it for a little bit, and then got somebody over with it.
Turn it to a spinner belt
next year. Heck yeah! I think that would be kind of cool.
If he took the Intercontinental, if he took the Intercontinental title and turned it into a spinner belt to where he had a better looking Intercontinental title, I would definitely be.
Yep.
I thought that would be kind of cool. Something he hasn't had. We could make him a Grand Slam champion, win all the titles.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm looking forward to it. hopefully we get like a good mix of like some old rivalries, some new matches. I'd love to see him and Punk go at it one more time. Him and Orton, him and Cody. Some of these newer guys, like him and Gable, would be a good match.
Yep.
Him and Big Show. No, I'm kidding.
Cena and Gunther would be really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cena and Sheamus let's bring that back.
Yep.
A lot of good stuff.
Bring Undertaker out of retirement. Have him.
Awesome stuff. All right. Before we get to NXT, Monday Night Raw was a pretty good Raw. We had Punk pleading his case to Adam Pearce to unsuspend Drew McIntyre from what happened at the post show where Pearce
Adam
got
Pearce took an elbow to the face. Which was funny. He didn't even like flinch either, so I don't know how much it actually hurt.
I don't know.
But it is the Scrap Daddy we're talking about here.
Well,
He's probably in favor of his life. He's probably in favor of his life.
Yeah, probably.
Well, he got suspended because Jackie Redmond feared for her life. Which I said in our group chat, I believe Jackie was in more fear of her life than Tony Khan was during Brawl Out. So, Tony Khan was afraid of a man yelling and putting someone in a headlock. Oh man. Yeah, so we had that. So we'll get Drew on Raw this week. Hopefully we'll get an agreement to some sort of match between the two of them at SummerSlam.
Seth Rollins
Punk gave his word that he will not be on Raw this week to get Drew to agree to this match at SummerSlam. Chad Gable taking on Jey Uso again. Wyatt interference again.
Jay running off like he getting chased by the cop.
Hitting that yeet gone.
I was dying watching him freaking run.
Freaking Pat McAfee, Jay, run, run, Jay.
And we see Bo Dallas out of the Uncle Howdy character too, so we may get the same like kind of crossover with like Bray did.
Yeah,
with Bo.
Which if you watch like
Bo
the first,
Adam Pearce's office,
when you watch like the first like 5 to 10 seconds of that, it's Bray Wyatt. It's crazy. It's uncanny. I watched it back so many times. Like when he's just like when you just see him sitting and you don't see Bo's face, just like the back of his head, it looks just like Bray sitting in off. It's crazy. That's what a lot of people were talking about.
Great. I love these like the VHS like interview things. You know, it's the only person that they didn't reveal without the mask was Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of theories going around now that they didn't reveal her because probably one of the things I saw was like, oh, maybe she shares that mask with Alexa Bliss. That's why they didn't reveal it. Maybe those two are like interchangeable in there. But I don't think that's true at all. But
no, I don't think so.
Because the mask that Nikki was wearing is something that she could wrestle in.
Yep.
Like the other ones, like the masks that they have on, weren't really something that they could wrestle in.
Right.
I mean, Gacy probably could have wrestled in that pig mask, but it probably.
I mean, they all probably could wrestle in those masks. I just don't know how well they would be able to freaking see in them.
Yeah, that is true as well. But I'm excited. Hopefully, we get them competing relatively soon.
Get the Budweiser frogs on the podcast.
Yeah, you hear them?
Bud.
Yeah.
They wanted to join the podcast.
Nice. I'm not paying them.
Okay. I'll find some insects they can eat. They'll be all right.
All right. And then we finally get the formation of the faction between Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark.
please tell me you saw the name that someone posted about him.
No, what was it?
Someone posted that their name was the Lesbians.
The lesbian.
We already had the Lesbians. That was back in like 2010s.
Oh well,
Yeah.
people
HLA,
know, I guess.
hot lesbian action.
But I'm down for it. I like the group, like as long as they can do something with them. And not just having them job out like they do with any group that Shayna Baszler, seems to be in, except for
And
the thing with Ronda.
Yeah, and they're all badasses, like all three of them.
Yeah.
Like let them dominate a little bit, like because you look at Shayna in NXT and she dominated her run in NXT. Then she gets to the main roster and she just loses all that momentum under Vince. So I think it's been like a uphill battle trying to get that momentum back with her. I think they're going in the right direction with her. But
I say give them the tag titles and then have them verse Bianca and Jade Cargill. Would be my suggestion.
I think they'll end up with the tag titles again.
Yeah, for sure.
Then finally, main event time, tag team match, mixed tag. Ray and Zelina representing the LWO, and Liv Morgan and Dirty Dom. Dom and Liv pick up the win, and
Ray's dead.
Go into their own little celebration here. And this is the first win that Dom's gotten over Mysterio.
Yep.
Yeah.
In all their matches. So congrats to Dirty Dom. But Dirty Dom is in the doghouse because Mami Rhea is back. And
That's
boy, was she pissed. So
did you see the thing like before the match? Liv was like talking with Dom like in the corner, and she basically like asked Dom, "Should I run out of the ring when she comes?" And he nods his head yes.
Oh,
so like
really?
they had already there's like a whole thing where like she was like asking him about it. I guess because I
thought you were talking about the Carlito. I think it's about the Carlito thing
hilarious.
where Damon's like,
they're doing where
I thought it's not that. Where like it's not that hard, and then Carlito's like, it's pretty hard.
I love Carlito. Carlito in this whole thing, like, has been great. Like, it's not as good as like R-Truth trying to join the Judgment Day, but Carlito has been great with us because every time Liv does something, like the hotel room key, that's cool. And he comes in, and he's like stretching her out. She's like stretching him out, and he's like, "That's not cool." He's got this big ass grin on his face.
Or when Dom has like the photo, and he's like, "Look what she sent me," and he's like, his eyes are like all big. Oh, that's cool.
Oh man, it's great.
Yeah.
But I'm glad Rhea's back. Rhea looked hella good.
Yep.
So yeah, and Liv just bolted out of the ring.
Our special guests agree.
Yeah. Oh man. But I guess Dom was trying to plead his case with Rhea, and she was not having any of it backstage. So from what some of the photos that they showed, but we're all pretty sure we know where this is going. Rhea is probably going to end up destroying Liv and getting that title back.
Oh yeah, she's a married woman.
Yep. Awesome. All right. NXT Heatwave. Like I said, I just saw the main event. Haven't watched the rest of it yet.
It was pretty good. Probably the best pay-per-view in like a long ass time.
They're all been really
good for NXT. That's not for NXT.
So first match was Obafemi and Wesley. Was incredible.
I did see the clip where Oba launched Wesley.
Oh yeah.
That was insane.
And and book me a front row ticket to see Obafemi and Moose when it happens. Thank you. Anyways,
hell yeah.
and then the second match, I think, was the women's North American match.
Yep.
That match was
Yes, it was.
crazy good. Like two gymnasts. Now, Carl and I both agreed the stuff before it was kind of dumb. They basically before each person came out, they did their whole backstory and talked about everything they did growing up and everything. It was just a little much.
Told me about that.
Yeah, it was a little much. But yeah, that match was really good. Two very athletic, they had a lot of good spots in that match. Then obviously Kiana Jane, or whatever her name is.
Kalani Jordan.
Kalani Jordan, yeah. Obviously she won. And then we had the tag team match. The tag team match is I've been trying to get Carl on Axiom and Nathan Frazier. I think he got it. I think he's on board.
I think I'm on board.
Bishop
For sure.
Bishop told me last night we were playing 2K23. I don't know why he wanted to play that one. But he tells me last night, because he kept picking Axiom. He's like, Axiom's my favorite wrestler. I said, why is Axiom your favorite wrestler? He's like, because he has a cool entrance and he wears a mask.
Nice.
And a cool finisher. I was like, okay, cool.
Wait,
I'm not going to argue with it.
The real question is A Kid in that game?
No.
Probably not, yeah.
I was going to say if he was, you should just play that person against him since it's the same person.
No, he was in the previous game. Because they didn't change his entrance for 23. It's still from 22 to 23, it's still A Kid's entrance.
That's funny.
They didn't update it till this year for 24. They put the actual Axiom entrance with the slow motion stuff.
But yeah, that match was great. Duke Hudson hitting the what is Trish Stratus' move called? Stratisfaction, whatever it is.
Stratisfaction,
yeah.
In the corner. That was great. But yeah, they retained, which I kind of thought Chase U was going to win. But
wait,
yeah.
Duke Hudson, for as big as he is, his finish is the Stratisfaction.
No. He hit one. No.
He hit a Stratisfaction.
I'm just saying he hit it. I'm not saying that's his finish. I'm just telling you he hit one in the match.
Gotcha.
But what this match made me a fan of everybody though. It was to me it was the best match on the card, I thought.
Yeah, I mean I could agree with that. It was really good. I mean, two really good tag teams, to be honest.
I'm not a big fan of Andre Chase compared to Duke Hudson, but those two together are a really good tag team.
Yes.
They complement each other very well.
Yep. And then what was after that? Wasn't there? There was one more match.
Perez and Lola Vice.
Yep.
That one I need to go back and watch because I was really interested in seeing that.
Probably the worst match on the card.
Really?
I mean, it was good. It was really good.
It was really good. It's just if you had to tell me to pick a worst match, it was probably this one. And honestly, it's because of the finish. I think the finish ruined a little bit of it.
One of the moves was a little sloppy at the end, and other than that, it was a great match.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't when Lola Vice first showed up on NXT when she was with Elektra Lopez. I wasn't 100% sold on her, but
she can go.
A couple months ago, watching NXT, Lola Vice is awesome.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah, and that's another one where they played the little vignette.
Yeah, they did a whole vignette thing for her. It was a lot.
She came to Booker T, and it's dude, nobody. Like I was telling Garrett, nobody gives a fuck what you did before you started wrestling. I don't care if he was a cheerleader. I don't care if he was fucking
very.
It put me in the mind of, remember when Britt Baker first started in AEW, and it was before every match they had to show her in her dental uniform and shit, cleaning teeth. It was it put me in mind of that.
Yep. Yeah.
But yep. Had that, and then obviously the main event. Main event was great.
I I like the finish to this. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
With
Yeah, it
the
was.
Tiffany and
was good.
Paige falling onto
I mean, because it plays
Von Evans.
Yeah, I mean, it plays to the whole like story with the whole match, where like
Yeah.
literally Trick's jumping in the ring trying to save the match the whole time. So, and then to have him basically like him lose with it right in front of his face, it's just like wow.
With Spears holding them from getting in the ring.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't holding them. He was kind of like
I think he was just
attempting
trying to
to
get him
like.
out of the ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was good. It was all of it was really good. Heck, even the pre-show we didn't talk about was good.
Carmen Petrovic, Ariana Grace versus JC Jane and Jasmine Nix.
Even that was good.
I like JC Jane. I like the whole.
I didn't see that. I just watched it.
It's all right. You didn't have to. I just happened to turn it over early and was watching it and saw it. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I watched it Monday morning. I didn't watch it Sunday night.
Then,
why they do it so damn early? That was
I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird. Like both of them, 7 o'clock. Like I thought it was 8.
It was weird.
Oh,
because it's not like the time there's any different in the East Coast.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I tuned into Money in the Bank at 8. So I was like, all right, 8 o'clock, Money in the Bank's on. So I turn it on
and Braun Breaker and Simmons.
I did.
No, it was over. Like I was on
the
whatever that match was that was after it. The women's Money in the Bank.
No, it was Damien and Seth.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And fuck Peacock, man. Like, you had to rewind it like 10 seconds at a time, so it took us forever to rewind it to the beginning. But we started from the beginning, but you can rewind it 10 seconds at a time.
Man, like I said, I thought NXT started at 8, so by the time I got to sit down and watch it, it was like almost 9 o'clock. So I was like, oh, I didn't miss that much.
You missed the whole thing.
Whatever's left, and I turn it on. It's the start of the Fatal 4-Way. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, WWE. Like, you think
maybe they have like a curfew in Canada or something?
No idea.
I don't know, because the AEW pay-per-views
actually
when they ran them in Canada went to like fucking 11 o'clock.
I think they do actually. I'm trying to remember when I was in Toronto. I think they do. Believe it or not, I think they do. I don't remember that. It's been a while.
I couldn't tell you. Last time I was in Toronto was like 20 years ago for a Linkin Park concert. So
it's been a while.
But NXT, this Heat Wave ended with a nice image of Joe Hendry. So I don't know if anybody said his name, but he appeared.
I didn't know. I didn't see that in the replay. In the replay, that wasn't in there.
Yeah, it wasn't in the replay at all.
Oh, really?
No.
It just okay.
Yeah, the replay. Yeah.
It was not in anything. It was
crazy.
just a thing I saw going around, but I never saw it.
All right. So yeah. So that was at the because when you watch it live, it flashed like real quick, like the white screen from his video with his face and the big smile. Which brought us into NXT Tuesday night. We had Wesley in the ring talking about how he's going to walk away for a little bit, and out come the Rascals.
What a great thing!
It was awesome. Like psyched to see the Rascals back together.
Speaking of just random thought that we should have put in the very beginning of notes, but I've heard that WWE signed the Motor City Machine Guns.
I think that was debunked.
Oh, okay. I've seen it like so many places.
They're still free agents. Yeah.
Oh,
but they did sign Stephanie Vacure.
I saw that, which is so funny.
And she just like bounced from like New Japan and CMLL, just like left the title and was like, peace.
I love
it. I got pee.
There we go. Yeah, so we have
NXT was good this week.
NXT was good. Main event was good. That tag team match. They took out Javon Evans, Sean Spears, and Ethan Page. So Trick Williams had to find a new partner. Said his name, and he appeared. Out comes Joe Hendry.
Yep.
Just got to believe, man. So a great match. Joe Hendry picked up the pinfall.
Yep.
And a little celebrating in the ring with him and Trick.
I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Like WWE is gonna sign him as soon as his TNA contract is up.
Apparently, they added him to the roster.
I heard
page.
that. I've heard that, which I thought was interesting.
I haven't gone to verify
I haven't
yet.
either.
Maybe we should let's do that. Let's do that now.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I mean, I love the stuff that they're doing. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
So that's been really cool.
Let's see.
Believe in Joe Hendry.
I will say, I think I watched TNA this week. I could be wrong.
TNA was pretty good this week.
Was the main event not Hendry and Josh Alexander, or is that an old episode?
I might have to look that up. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, so the one I watched, it came on. It was like 8 to 10, I think, yesterday. That sound right?
Okay. Yeah.
It was on Access. I watched it on Access TV because where we're staying actually has it, which is nice. And
nice.
yeah, the main event was Joe Hendry and Josh Alexander versus Moose and Steve Macklin.
Okay.
With Frankie Kazarian on commentary.
They're
doing that 6-way thing at Slammiversary.
He is not on the WWE roster page.
It's a fake. It's debunked.
Yep.
Fake. Yeah, they're doing like a 6-man for the title, the world title at Slammiversary.
Oh, awesome. Oh, no, they put a picture of him at the very end of the roster.
Oh, that's
funny. No name or nothing. It's just a picture of him in the entryway.
I love that. Yeah, the 6-man, it's so it's Moose, Steve Macklin, Josh. I think it's Josh. I think it's all 4 of those guys. Josh Alexander, Joe Hendry, Kazarian, and then it's Nick Nemeth.
Okay.
So, which would be awesome. I think it's just a regular 6-man. It could be like a ladder match. I don't remember, but I don't really care.
Yeah, but we had
but I don't know if Nick Nemeth's still going to be in it because Frankie Kazarian took him out. I think it would be cool if someone got taken out in that match and they put like a TNA person in it.
Oh, that'd be pretty
cool.
Interesting.
That they
Izzy Dame answered Jordan Grace's open challenge.
Yeah, I saw you put that in the note.
Yeah, ended up.
It'd be pretty cool if they had like someone pretty big. I'd say it would be awesome. Is that at Slammiversary, you have Jordan Grace come out and she's like, "I'm doing another open challenge," and all these NXT girls keep signing, they're not doing crap. And then you have Becky Lynch come out and face her at Slammiversary. They'd lose some freaking shit.
Yeah,
or Charlotte Flair.
It's already Slammiversary's already said. It's Jordan Grace versus Ash by Elegance.
Boo.
Yeah. Looking at 6-way elimination match, TNA World Championship, Moose, Josh Alexander, Steve Macklin, Nick Nemeth, Frankie Kazarian, and
I like Ash by Elegance.
That's a good, solid lineup there.
No, yeah, Slammiversary's gonna be good.
Jordan Grace versus Ash by Elegance, Mustafa Ali versus Mike Bailey, AJ Francis versus PCO. That's for the TNA Digital Media Championship, and Knockouts tag titles, the Militia, Militia Edwards and Masha Slamovich versus Spitfire.
Speaking of someone we need on that like top 10 list, PCO. I mean, guy's been wrestling for like 50 years.
I know.
Multiple promotions. I mean, come on. I'm sorry, I had to.
I don't think he had much success as a Quebecer, though.
No, not at all.
All right.
Let's
hop back over here. AEW this week.
I'm out. I don't know nothing about AEW. All I know is MJF's a scumbag.
Kicked off the show, Owen Hart Cup Finals. Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Page. Danielson ended up picking up the win on this one, so he's going to What the fuck is he going to? All in Wembley to take on Swerve.
All right.
Oh, he I thought he was just out on this. He literally did bounce. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So so we'll get Swerve versus Danielson. The match was pretty good. Jeff Jarrett was a special guest enforcer. Ended up becoming a special referee because the ref got knocked out in the match. I think we might get Hangman versus Jarrett somewhere down the road.
Yeah.
But, and then Swerve came out, had to stare down with Danielson, and then had a promo thing where he announced that he will be. Swerve was approached by the Elite to join Team Elite. He said he will be involved in Blood and Guts, but he is Team AEW.
Yeah.
He said he's taken over control of Team AEW and will be the captain for the team.
So who do you think the elite team member is going to be?
Hangman actually went to the Elite and said he's in.
Oh, did he?
Yep, because I think he was in the Owen Hart Cup tournament because he was trying to get his hands on Swerve again. And I think having him with Swerve announcing that he's going to be in Blood and Guts, Hangman sees this as an opportunity to be able to get his hands on Swerve because he's still like pissed that he couldn't beat Swerve. So, you had Jericho versus Samoa Joe with one of the worst spots I've ever seen. They built a fake wall, or not a fake wall. They built a wall in front of like their production area, and then Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith beat down Joe, put him on a forklift, put him on a pallet on a forklift, and then drove him through the wall. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Pac is a new number one contender for the international title. Kind of excited about that one. Pac needs to get some momentum back.
If they'll actually put him over and give him the title, that's the thing.
Put him fucking title on him again. Because he won that title initially when it was the Atlantic Championship or whatever, All Atlantic or whatever.
Yeah.
He was the inaugural holder for that one. But the biggest thing coming out of Dynamite, Mariah May versus Willow for the finals of the women's Owen Hart Cup tournament. Mariah May picked up the win in a really good match between her and Willow, which was the main event. Statlander and Stokely tried to get involved. Willow was able to overcome that. Kicked out of a pinfall attempt by Mariah. But Mariah eventually did go on to pick up the win. Her and Toni Storm were celebrating. They both ran up to the top of the ramp to get the belt in the Owen Hart Cup. Mariah May turns on Toni Storm.
Yeah, seen that.
Beats her down. Makes her bleed. Whips her with the belt. Hits Luther with the belt numerous times. To the point where she knocks him off the stage and puts him through a couple tables that were right down there. So Mariah May going to All In Wembley Stadium to take on Toni Storm for the title.
I think it'll be good.
I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a great match. Because you had so now you're left with questions like, was this Mariah May's plan the entire time? To come in and be like, hey, I'm your number one fan, I want to be your protege type thing, just to get on the inside with Toni Storm and then eventually get that opportunity and turn on her? Or was this something that like, hey, I got a chance of doing this, so that title means more to me than you do, let's do it?
I think ultimately it's an opportunity for Toni Storm to turn face.
that's true too. Because she's kind of been teetering between face and heel, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome though. So excited for that matchup between the two of them at All In. So. But that was a lot of big stuff from AEW. TNA, we kind of touched on a few things on here. Charlie Dempsey was also on Impact this week and went over Wentz from the Rascals. Santino announced a 6-man tag match for next week between the No Quarter Catch crew versus the Rascals and the mystery partner, which will more than likely be Wes Lee. And that was a lot of the big stuff there for TNA. Aside from Turning Point was announced, will be coming to us live from Winston-Salem, November 28th from WrestleCade. Tickets for that event are going on sale July 25th. Awesome.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'm excited for that. I might actually
get tickets
and go out to that. So it's pretty awesome. All right. Local talent basically is a new portion of Instant Replay. It's pretty much highlighting the local shows, what we've been doing last few months anyway. Coming up tonight, actually, already happened, so don't worry about that one. Apple City Championship Wrestling tomorrow, July 13th, Hidden Night, North Carolina. Check them out. Moose is being advertised on the card for that one. And RWA's Cruel Summer on Sunday the 14th at the Southside Recreation Center in High Point, North Carolina. Go check them out. They've got Zicky Dice and Angelina Love making appearances as well.
Yeah, I've seen that on Facebook.
And there's like a whole bunch of events coming up in August, so we'll get those added in and start reminding you all about those next week. Awesome stuff there. That is it for that, and let's get into the final portion of the show that we like to call No Holds. And No Holds Barred is brought to you by our Redbubble store. So check out redbubble.com/people/WrestleGettingPod, where you can support us by buying some t-shirts, some stickers, like all those kinds of good stuff, some hats, whole bunch of stuff there. Redbubble.com/people/WrestleGettingPod. I think that'd be awesome. I don't know, Carl. Got anything No Holds Barred?
Nah, not really. I mean, we're kind of in that time where sports has kind of died down, except for the Olympics, I guess, is getting ready to start up. I think. Go ahead.
I said the only real thing that big thing that I've seen so far, they dropped a new trailer for Captain America: Brave New World.
What's that look like?
So this one's gonna have it's got Anthony Mackie, of course, Falcon taking up the role as Captain America, like we saw in the Captain America Winter Soldier series. We also have the introduction of the Red Hulk.
Red Hulk, all right.
Red Hulk, which is a Thunderbolt Ross, so Betty Ross's dad. But I'm not sure who is actually playing him because Harrison Ford is in the movie, and the rumor was that he was supposed to be the new General Ross. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
With the
thought he'd be the president.
Yeah. I think he is the president. It's also got Giancarlo Esposito is in this as well. The man plays an awesome villain. Like everything he does. So pretty cool. That was pretty much the biggest thing movie wise that's out. There's that. And I don't think they added.
Got Terracon coming out.
Yeah, Triangle Terracon, October 27th. Checking out GalaxyCon. That's coming up here about 13 days. No new wrestling guests added. The last two that they added were the Hardys. So Matt and Jeff will be there again this year. Be prepared if you are going, because every year that they are there, regardless if they were just there the year before, they typically have the longest lines out of all the professional wrestlers.
I don't know if you've seen it or not, but Charlotte, they had a thing that had Jerry Lawler, Demolition, and somebody else. I can't remember who it was.
Wasn't that Night of the Legends or something like that?
I forgot what it was. It was some kind of something. But yeah, they had it was Jerry Lawler, Demolition. I want to say somebody else, but I can't remember who it was exactly. Something weird too. I saw Nashville. You know, when I was in Nashville, they was giving me like my Facebook feed was giving me like events in Nashville, and they had it might have been this weekend, but they had like some kind of GalaxyCon, Terracon type thing where, but it had Bam Margera there. I was like, what? Yeah.
Oh,
Who's there?
He's doing all
like,
right.
I don't know if he's like scary movie, but he's pretty cool that he's at things selling autographs, I guess.
T-Mart Promotions, that's what it was. The Gathering. T-Mart presents The Gathering. Not the Gathering of the Juggalos, just The Gathering.
The Gathering of the...
This is coming up on August 3rd. So we've got... Let me go to their website here, aside from their Facebook page. The Gathering 5, the final chapter. So this be like the last one. So this is looks like a 4-day convention. August 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Where are vendors? You got Kevin Von Erich, The Big Show, Masahiro Chono. Nice. Mick Foley, Jerry Lawler, Booker T. And they're all appearing on like different days. Not everyone is like there the entire weekend. So you'll definitely have to check out tmartpromotions.com to see when each one is appearing. Ricky Morton, Kerry Morton, Dawn Marie, Evan Courageous, Will Buchanan, Buff Bagwell, Colonel Parker, Tennessee Lee, Harvey Whippleman, Fabulous Rougeau.
Robert Foley. So I know, man.
You got a Beautiful People reunion with Velvet Sky, Angelina Love, and Lacey Von Erich. Not the best iteration of the Beautiful People, but one of the iterations. Sky Blue, Tugbolt, Dangerous Danny Davis, Mike McGurk, who was one of the original ring announcers for WWE. She was actually featured in the WWF WrestleFest game. Coco Beware, Deborah, Earl Hebner, Nunzio, Johnny Swinger, Max Moon, also known as Paul Diamond, Scotty Riggs, Jerry Lynn, the Pitbull Gary Wolf, Dean Malenko, WWE Hall of Famer Thunderbolt Patterson, Demolition, Big Vito, Johnny the Bull Stamboli, Val Venus, Jesus, Nasty Boys, Marty Bell, Allison K. Damn, there's a lot of people on here. Wild Bill Irwin, Greg Valentine, Tony Mamaluke, Big Sal, Abdul the Butcher, Samantha Starr, Baby Doll, Missy Hyatt, Jimmy Valent, George South. Whew.
Yeah, but that time the people I've seen advertised on Facebook, that was like a lot more. So they're kind of underselling the thing with the promotion because I just saw Jerry Lawyer Demolition and like somebody else, probably Ricky Morton.
There's a really big list of people here, so that's pretty awesome. That's the Hilton University place in Charlotte, North Carolina. tmarkpromotions.com. Like I said, some people are only appearing like Friday, some are Saturday, some are Sunday, some are Thursday. So definitely check their website and plan accordingly when you want to go down and meet some of these people. But yeah, Demolition will be here in Raleigh a weekend before. So doing a whole like North Carolina loop. Their poster has Marty Jannetty on here, but I didn't see him listed in their thing, or Al Snow.
Marty Jannetty?
Yeah. Marty.
Yeah, if I figured he wouldn't show.
Jacqueline's on the poster too. I didn't see her on their list. And same with Wendy Richter. So.
Marty Jannetty, you gotta figure out what hotel he's staying at and get him at the bar.
Oh man, so that's awesome. So there you go. A lot of great conventions within a couple of weeks of each other. So I'm kind of wondering because they're calling it the final chapter. Is like this going to be the last one? Because it really doesn't say anything on here.
Yeah, I don't know. Could this be like, Friday the 13th, where, the final chapter wasn't the final chapter? It was just, halfway through. Or it could be like Final Destination,
Yeah, that could be too. Let's see. Any updates for WrestleCade? We got a few updates. We got the Maharaja, Raj Desi, formerly known as Jinder Mahal. I was drawing a blank on that. Cowboy Bob Orton, Abdullah the Butcher, Ahmed Johnson, Al Snow, Alicia Edwards, Ali. American Males. Oh, yeah. Angelina Love, Ariel and Kevin Thorne, Arn Anderson, Beer City Bruiser will be in attendance, Billy Starks, Billy Gunn, Buff Bagwell, Chavo, Danhausen, Dennis Rodman. Right on.
Yes.
Elias, Doug Basham, Gail Kim. That's cool. George South, Jake the Snake Roberts, JJ Dillon, Jasmine St. Clair, Jeff Hardy, Jerry Lawler, Jim Ross, Jimmy Hart, Jimmy Valiant, Jordan Grace.
Be cool if we could get some NXT people since they've been crossing over on TNA.
Yeah. Juventud Guerrera, Kerry Morton, Crystal Marshall. What? Kurt Angle, Lex Luger, Matt Hardy, Matt Riddle. I think. Rhett Titus, Ric Flair, Ricky Morton, Ricky Steamboat, Ron Simmons, Sabu, Scott Norton, Scotty Riggs, Sean Waltman, Slick, Shelton Benjamin, Swaggle, the Dudley Boys, Teddy Long, Tennille Dashwood, the Acclaimed, the Great Khali, Thunderbolt Patterson, Vita Scott, Zia Lee. Nice. She was formerly released, so Zilla Fatu will be in attendance.
Oh, cool.
Alberto El Patron, Ash by Elegance, Henry Godwin. And that's everyone they've got listed so far on here. These some of the bigger names. There are some lesser known people on here, but then not to mention they got TNA on the 28th.
Midian was on Undertaker's podcast.
Yeah,
6 p.m.
they were talking about the slot bucket.
Yeah,
And they the slot bucket for Sonny, and they're like, yeah, it was like corn and breadcrumbs and like chicken noodle soup or something like that was in there, and we put it all in there, and we brought it in the locker room and left it there for like 2 hours, and announced really loud, the slot bucket is going on Sonny tonight. Nobody touch it. And they're like, yeah, I'm sure there was some kind of human excrement inside that slot bucket by the end of the night. Because like, yeah, that bucket was like half full, and by the time we came back 2 hours later, it was almost full.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I didn't know he became a chef.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a pretty good podcast. I would recommend checking it out.
That's
A lot of cool old stories.
So I'm looking at tickets here for WrestleCade. They have a Saturday all day pass for $40. All day pass includes admission to both Saturday's Fan Fest at 10 a.m. and the WrestleCade Super Show at 5 p.m. November.
What about
29th.
the TNA?
TNA is on Friday, so the 28th. So the all day pass on Friday is $25, but they haven't put up the tickets for TNA yet. So I'm assuming that's going to be separate. But all day pass for adults includes general admission to the wrestler panel, general admission ticket to the to be determined event at the Benton Center. So is there not like a fan fest?
Still real to me, damn it.
So there's no doesn't look like there's a fan fest on Friday. So it's just the Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, probably still doing the TNA.
Oh, lost Carl. It's just me. It's just me on here. Some dead air. Sorry about that all. So yeah. Check out WrestleKid.com for full list of everyone that's going to be there, tickets and everything like that. That, of course, is Thanksgiving weekend, November 28th, 29th, and 30th. Yeah, awesome stuff. November 29th, 30th, and December 1st. So I think I was wrong on the date for TNA. I think it's 27th or 29th.
Yeah. Our Wi-Fi dropped at the very end of the trip.
That's all good. I think I got the date wrong for Turning Point.
Oh, did you?
I think so.
Sunday? They might not have the tickets up yet. If I was Triple H, I would set up NXT at night.
Yeah.
Or do a joint pay-per-view or something. That'd be cool.
Date and location for turning. It is November 29th. Okay. I thought it was the 28th. So I was a day off. So it is that Friday night. Seven tickets will go on sale on July 25th. And that's on Russell K's website. All right, cool. So there's that. Well, that's pretty much going to do it for us. So, what you got? You don't have anything else, do you?
No.
Awesome. Well, that's going to do it for us, guys. Thanks for checking us out each and every Friday night right here on youtube.com/forthecollection. And over on our Facebook page at WrestleGettingPod, which I actually picked the right Facebook page this week. And we are broadcasting there correctly. So, where if you go check that out, you'll see all my wife's trolling comments that I did not see until just now. Yeah.
Any good comments?
TNA, all tits and ass.
Yep.
Talking about our merch, shower curtains with your faces. Oh, yeah. Awesome. Excited for Booker T. Yeah, so check us out on social media. You can find us on all our social media. Just by searching WrestleGetting Pod. I have brain farts tonight too. Search WrestleGetting Pod, X, Instagram, Facebook, all those places. You'll be able to find us on there as well. And check the description on there. Check out our new website. That'll give you links to everything. The merch store, discount codes, links to Entertainment Earth and Dubby. Lots of good stuff there. And that's going to do it for us. So we'll check you guys next week. This is episode 244 of your WrestleGetting podcast. Later, Marks.
Later.